I'm going to go over the requirements for Portfolio 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is for the animation discipline only. So first off, sorry to start on a negative, but how to fail. If you want to fail your weekly turn-ins and eventually fail the class, post bad links. So if you post an ArtStation link instead of SyncSketch, and I'll get into that later, you're going to fail. You'll get a 0. So we do not look at ArtStation links for animation because we can't use them. So if an art director needs to critique your work, they can't do anything with ArtStation. But SyncSketch, we can. We can draw over your work, we can scroll, we can scrub, and leave you notes. So, again, do not post ArtStation links. Because if you do, that means you haven't watched this video, automatic 0. Animate the all node. Do not animate the all node, which is the node that you use when you put your character into the scene and you position them. That's fine. You position your character with the all node, but you do not animate that. Okay? Other than that, you're pretty good. If you have late turn-ins, just keep us in the loop, and we're usually pretty lenient with those things. So Portfolio 5, game assets. With Portfolio 5, you'll be doing a walk cycle and a run cycle with character. Now, in case you haven't animated a cycle before, that means a perpetual walk or run. It doesn't stop. So when the feet plant the ground, they don't stop. They keep going, just like on a treadmill. Turn-in and milestones. So weekly milestones are, every week, week 1, 2, 3, and 4, you have your turn-ins. Your final turn-in, still post your stuff to SyncSketch and turn that link in. Okay? So upload your Playblast to SyncSketch. Check the link, make sure it works. So once you upload your video, grab the link, post it in a new window, make sure it works. Post your scene file using Dropbox, Google Drive, or Concept Share. So when you turn in your work, there's a little slot underneath on the submission page, which you'll see later, underneath the SyncSketch submission, and that's where you would post your scene file. So let's say you have it saved on Dropbox or Google Drive or Concept Share. However you want to do it, as long as you can get it to us and we can download it. Now, every so often, we get some joker who posts the links from their desktop. Don't do this. Just imagine us trying to download the scene from your desktop. It doesn't work. You have to put it somewhere that we have access to it. Dropbox, Google Drive, or Concept Share. So if you have reference Maya files, or you need to zip them. So reference folders, like let's say you have you reference your characters in to keep your scene file light, which is okay. Make sure you zip your folder structure and then upload that as the link that we download. Otherwise, we can't open your scene. When we open it, it'll just be a blank scene. Okay? So the animation homepage, SyncSketch. So here's a good example of a regular human walk cycle. This is fine, but it doesn't really have any character. Here's a walk with a little bit more attitude. Something like this. This works fine. This is a walk cycle. This is an example of an extreme walk cycle. This is also good. This is a good run cycle. See, it moves perpetually. The feet slide. They don't stop. And then here's another good example of that. So in Portfolio 6, action with a purpose. And what's that? What's action with a purpose? That just means a pantomime scene. A scene with acting, something simple, but one character, and roughly 8, actually all of your assets, your dialogue clip, everything that you're going to be doing need to be roughly 8 to 10 seconds. The run cycle, the walk cycle, once you get those done, you'll cycle them, and they'll probably be more like 5 seconds each. So for the action with a purpose, short and simple, roughly 8 to 10 seconds, one character, and no more than one prop to interact with. So like, let's say there's a character in a kitchen, and you have plates and dishes and all kinds of things, and you want the character to pick something up. And, you need to set up constraints and get the character ready for all that kind of thing. Just keep it simple. One prop. Keep it simple. A lot of people want to do something crazy. Like they want to have 12 ninjas and and they want to have, dragons and all sorts of crazy stuff like that. No. This is character animation, so you're doing that. You can do all those things in your own time or after you graduate, but for now, keep it simple, okay? Something like this. Okay, so for acting, you're going to find a sound clip. I have plenty of links in the submission page, or I'm sorry, the home page, the Portfolio 4, or the animation homepage, I'm sorry. So here you see Wreck-It Ralph. This is a good example of a nicely staged scene. You have a foreground character, and then the character in the background is the point of focus. But the character in the foreground is still alive, but not really doing a whole heck of a lot to distract from the most important part, which is the performance of the little girl. So you can do something like this for your acting scene, but if you have a dialogue clip and you don't need another character in it, you just need one, that's fine too. Keep things to a minimum. You don't need a crazy background or anything to really distract from what's going on in the foreground with your characters. So you don't have to build an entire world for this. Just keep it very simple. So here's a good example of a demo reel from a student, Andrew. Now some of the stuff that he's done in here, like this is something he did on his own, but this could work as, almost like an action with a purpose, right? So he excelled at animation, so we gave him a lot of free reign to do what he wanted. So here's his run cycle, walk cycle. Here's his attack knockback he wanted to do, action with a purpose type stuff, and then his acting scene. Very nice. And I think he downloaded some of these rigs for free, and also some of the rigs, like I think he paid for these girl rigs here. They're like $10, I think.
I lied once and somebody died.
Yep, and then here's another rig, or I'm sorry, another demo from a former student, Matt Egler. And it's very simple. One character, he used the Norman rig, which is very simple, very easy to use. This is his action with a purpose. Again, he excelled at animation. Now this rig here, I do not recommend using. I'll go over that a little bit. Good and bad rigs. This rig, I'm kind of retired. Norman again, which is fine. So here's his game assets. And his dialogue scene.
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
So Portfolio 4, you will create your project concepts, set up your scenes, and stage them. So that means, picking your rigs, creating a starting pose, which means a fully posed character. And you're like, what does fully posed mean? That means you don't just grab them in the T-pose, put their arms down, and then they're done. That means you pose them fully. This applies to everything you do from here on out. Knees, pull vectors, the spine, the feet, the fingers, the shoulders, the neck, the face, eyes, mouth, everything. You're going to pose everything. So when you create a pose, you're telling a story with that pose. If I can't tell what's going on, or any of the art directors can't tell what's going on, then it's not successful. It's just a waste. So each pose you should take a lot of time building. You don't just throw in something real quick and then move on to the next thing. That's a great way to create crappy animation, because you'll have to go back later and fix all those poses. So for Portfolio 4, you just set up your key pose. That's it. So your initial starting pose. You pick a sound clip on the main page, the main animation page. You'll have a bunch of links to places online where you can go and find sound clips from movies, roughly 8 to 10 seconds. Eliminate background noise if you can. Try and find no laugh tracks or music, no political stuff in terms of like Barack Obama giving a speech or something like that. It's not good for animation. And don't record your own stuff. Sometimes we get students who try to do that, and 99.9% of the time, it's bad. It's like bad acting with bad sound. And these will be your final projects for your demo reel. So your portfolio classes now, you're setting up what you're going to do from now on. So let's say you kind of, just throw a bunch of stuff together, and then when you get to portfolio 6 and 7, you're going to be like, man, I don't like this. Now, if you speak with your art director and you really, really, really hate it, they might allow you to change some things, but you really want to put the time in this month and craft your stuff. Really think about what you want to do and how to keep it simple, like those clips that I showed earlier. You want simple stuff that you can excel at animation. We get students who want to have like dragons and ninjas and all kinds of fantasy stuff, or they'll find some obscure robot rig or something, and all it ends up doing is coming out really badly because rigs don't work quite right. It's too complicated, and you're still learning the basics. So stick with something bipedal and simple. All right, thank you.